Hello? Hello, is anybody there? It's really quiet now that I was proven right. Y'all were real quick to do a victory lap on me, but you know what? I'm going to do one on you just because I know it'll live rent free in your heads for the continuation of this, and especially the ones who are holding GME at 450 plus and decided to double down recently. Before I get into it, and I'm saying this for disclaimer's sake and everything, and this is me here, I'm not trying to play a character or anything like that. Do not attack these people. I'm being very serious about that. I don't want anybody going after anybody just for a difference of opinion or anything like that. I'm a very big boy in more ways than one. I don't need anybody to really defend me or anything like that, or to act in my name or anything like that. These people made their own choices, and I'm just pointing out the stupidity of them because they're not looking at all the angles. That's all I'm doing. I'm roasting them essentially, and it's not meant as a mean roast, but it's more meant for constructive criticism to help them because they're in an industry they don't understand. And if you guys do really want to help me more, like obviously, I need you guys to leave a like on the video, leave a comment, subscribe. All these things serve a very good purpose to help me, but also like if they don't want to listen, it serves to live rent free in their heads because anytime I release a new video and the more popular I become, I just get to stick it in their faces because the YouTube algorithm works that way apparently. All right, let's start with the first one that I found kind of funny. This didn't age well. I'm up 300% this week. Lol. Apes together. Yeah, how's that working out for you right now? This comment was in relation to a comment I made about Michael Burry and how he was right. You mean how he tried to short Tesla and it didn't work? Lamau. Yeah, I'm sure he gets things right like the housing market, but you're not a critical thinker or do your own DD. It seems like you just idolize the guy and agree with everything he says. That's weird. You mean similar to how people were just saying that, oh, Michael Burry's long in this as well, and that, he was right about the housing market, he's right about GME as well. And that when he turned the tables, he suddenly became an enemy because he was telling you guys that this is not a normal market and that don't expect these price valuations to last and just to be very cautious. Yeah. Also, if you guys actually, or if this person actually decided to watch beyond the 5 minutes that he got triggered on, he would actually see that I actually did come to my own conclusion through the research that Michael Burry didn't show. Because if you ever read a Michael Burry tweet, it's very cryptic. He shows data, but you have to decipher what it means. The previous commenters, I will give some credence to because they actually had the sack to, actually stay there, respond, and do all that sort of stuff, and actually leave up their comments. People like this that try to strike in the shadows to leave comments. Here's the thing: I don't really delete comments ever, even if they're offensive or whatever. You're showing the world who you are, and honestly, I could have less of a care whatsoever. I don't lose any sleep overnight, on any of these comments. But I find this one really funny. And trust me, you're not the only one that calls me this, but this guy is such an insider shill. He's balls deep in shorts. Yeah, here's the thing. How can you tell even if I was in shorts? There's no obligation for me to report short positions, which is a travesty that I find. But it seems that they're taking this whole like little psychic or they think they're psychic, but it's more so that they're psychotic and trying to project it on me for every single loss that they take. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I can all I can do is just laugh at you. I told you that this was going to end badly for you. Michael Burry told you that this was going to end badly for you. Andrew Left told you that this was going to end badly for you. What do you want me to do? Here's another sackless one. Send this animal Jap parasite to Camp Snoopy. There's a couple of things I want to say about this. One is I'm not Japanese. Two, I have no idea what you're talking about. Three, how's holding GME at 450 doing for you? Here's an example of a guy who doesn't actually look past the surface other than, just he's green, that's all he cares about, that sort of thing, right? That guy uses no facts to support his beliefs. He also looks like he has Down syndrome. Now, I don't know if he was referring about me or Andrew Left or anything like that, but, I said, I responded the way I would. Hey, if anybody knows what it means to be down, it's you. And he responds to me telling me that he's up 400% this month. Another moron with no real picture. Now, the last time someone told me that they were up like, 1,000% or something crazy like that was that they said that even if I lost 99% of my account, I made 130% off of this. So then I will still have, walked out with some profit there, around 30 something percent because 130 minus 99 is 31. So I made a 31% gain. Let's try to work through that logic really quickly. I had $1,000. I lost about $999 of that thing. I gained $4 and suddenly I think I'm up. All right, so all the technical information that I usually reference in my previous videos around this point, they are updated to a point where I like. And so far, the best thing to do is obviously go off the fundamentals and look at potential future outcomes for this company. And the fact of GME is that their CTO and CFO both left right before their earnings call. They weren't taking questions during their earnings call. There was a lot of shaking confidence. Why it came back, and who knows? Like, it could have just been a bunch of hedge funds taking their profits, a bunch of shorts taking their profits, whatever, that sort of thing. Because we did see that little dip and bounce back up. So there's an article floating out there saying that, and again, I've never heard of Today online, but it says that Goldman Sachs sold 10.5 billion of stocks in block trade spree. Bloomberg News states. And the bank sold 6.6 billion shares of Baidu, Tencent, etc., VIPs. A lot of these are Chinese holdings, and I kind of saw this coming before. I saw someone was moving in the background, but I just didn't know who, what, if they're buying, selling, and stuff like that. But this also says, following this, Goldman sold 3.9 billion shares worth of Viacom, CBS, Discovery, Farfetch Limited, GSX, etc., etc. Now, this is some of the comments I read on StockTwits, and they're still saying about the short squeeze and stuff like that. You guys can keep trying to like squeeze blood from stone out of that all you want, but essentially it's not really an accurate metric that you guys should really go off of. But since it's a buzzword now for everybody references it but doesn't actually know what it means or what it entails behind it or any of the actual important factors around it. And that's also kind of the point I want to get across as well, is that everybody's so vilifying short sellers and stuff like that right now that they're not actually looking at some of the other contributing factors that could actually affect this. And that article kind of showed you, especially with the price, and I'll pull up the stock really quickly to emphasize the point, but if you're only looking at the short sellers, you're not also looking at the buyers as well, who essentially want to take profit or have to take profit because they have to keep a certain portfolio balance or they have to follow their own portfolio rules or whatever, right? But those buyers have no obligation to stay in. They're just in it for the memes, or they're just there to make a quick buck that they saw that was very possible for them. Once they're done, they get out. And they're not just getting out 4 or 5 shares like the average stimulus holder is. They're getting out to the tunes of millions. And these are a couple 100,000 shares, sometimes even 1 million shares plus and stuff like that. These things will move the stock. And your whole, a bunch of you with 4 to 5 shares adding into it cannot combat something like this. To show you guys visually, this is what happened in those markets. Not all the tickers had a down drop, but the ones that actually had a significant down drop, and I think these were mostly where their weightings was heaviest. But look at Discovery, it had a 27% drop. IQ, 13% drop. GSX, which is also, if you guys remember, also one of the Wolfpack short gangs pick for shorting because they were essentially pumping out fraudulent numbers and giving a lot of fraudulent stuff. They dropped 41%. Viacom dropped 27%. Now, the thing is, everybody thinks that, yeah, these guys are short sellers, blah, blah. These guys exited their position. They were long in all this. And since and I'm thinking like them right now, they might think that the meme is over and that they are essentially pulling out of the US market. I've been seeing a lot of outflows into foreign nations and stuff like that, anything but America, mostly in China, Britain and Germany. Around those three places mostly, but they're pretty broad spectrum emerging market portfolios. But that's something a little bit more, off topic in a sense. But if you guys think that GME is going to keep going up, even, without the short sellers or short squeeze or something like that, you're absolutely foolish, because they're not the only ones that you have to worry about. These guys who have bought in huge, that you guys have said, or that one guy claimed that had a 4,000% increase or something like that. I don't know how you got that number, but these people don't seem to think that there is another threat. That is their threat. People that are bought into this, not people, but hedge funds that are long on this and are going to take profit because they know the meme's over. What's to say that this can't happen on GME? My final thoughts on all of this is that I still stand by what I said earlier, which was I still think that a lot of people are unfocused on GME, and that how many times have you guys heard someone say AMC and GME to the moon, or ride and GME to the moon, or insert stock here and GME and stuff like that? There's no focus there, and they're only buying 4 or 5 shares or even less than that and stuff like that, right? And to be honest, I think a lot of the news, because I haven't really seen it too much, and I see a lot of the newscasters that do talk about it, they're sick and tired of it now, similar to how I am. When these firms or these ETFs start taking profit off GME or just getting out of it entirely, you're going to start seeing more of a downside, at least in my opinion. And those of you who got in because of the news, continue to add more, throw more of your stimulus at it, or are you only in it because of a political statement or something like that? Um, you guys wasted your stimulus check. There's no way to really sugarcoat that. And those who think that, oh, because DFV's still in there, I'm still in, stuff like that. Here's the thing: DFV was about to be made an example of, and he was more than willing to sacrifice half of what he made to not go to jail or not be made an example of. That's my thoughts and why he got back in. I don't think he actually wanted to get back in, but I think he felt that he had to or was legally advised to. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not a lawyer, not his legal advisor, not his financial advisor, not your financial advisor. You guys can do whatever you want, but just remember, just because you're a day trader doesn't mean you have to trade every single day.